Hello everybody, my name is Lion AK Space, also known as Chris Hudson. Yes, I know it's very weird, don't worry about it. This is I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, and for those of you who are curious how things are going to be done around here, since it's been so long since I've done anything, we're going to be streaming this with occasional breaks so that I can put in cuts for when I later put up episodes on YouTube. That way I'm not just subjecting people to 2 hours straight, 4 hours straight, so on, and also so that I can have a little bit less processing time trying to get a video up. We're going to be starting a new game. You can see there's a continue and a load. It'll actually... does it tell us how long this was? No, it doesn't. Okay. So the reason I wanted to talk about that is because I attempted to record this once before, things went poorly, and just to say the least, it made me delay a little bit. But we're going to start again, and that's okay. So let's hit new game and get started. This game is fantastic. Wake up. Warning, this game deals with mature subjects and may not be suitable for all players. Please see our content warnings in the system menu for detailed lists of themes and events. So yeah, that's a good thing to talk about. Just a few general ones that I ran into is violence, animal death, child death, parental death. This is gonna get real, and if you're not ready for that, don't worry. I understand, not gonna hold it against you. No one should hold it against you. But also, if you want to tackle those things with me, then let's go ahead and continue. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire! Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out, but you aren't sure how you got here, or what on Vertumna is happening. I'm gonna guess that's our planet. There's something important you need to remember. This is streamer thing. It's very hard not to want to pretend like I haven't played this, because generally I think that it's more interesting to watch someone go through their first experience or through something from a completely, I've played through this and I'm going to examine everything. So if I act like I don't know what's happening, I'm doing it for dramatic effect. And I just wanted to come out and say that, because expect me to do that a lot as a streamer, even with things I'm familiar with, and I won't be explaining it in the future, because it'll just be a dramatic tool I'm using. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Oh, by the way, since I didn't address the redhead approaching us. Hi. He or she, I'm presuming female, but that's a terrible habit to get into. You have green on you. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend! Your friend. Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is a ringing in your ears. What's going on, or climb out. So we're going to be playing this from the perspective... we're going to be playing this as a specific character I play in most games. Her name is Vissa. She's originally from Bloodborne, and that informs a lot of who she is. Such as, let's get out of the hole before we start asking questions. You try to stand up, but one of your legs folds uselessly underneath you. It won't hold your weight. Friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight. Dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. That is beautiful out there. That is a very pretty glow. Doggo! Glowing eyes! You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like from Earth? Oh. The creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. I've been attacked by dogs a few times in my life, and I'll be perfectly honest, if they looked like that, I would not deal with dogs anymore. Dogs would just be a no forever. It would only be cats from now on. Like the cat I have next to me. My sweet Blossom is curled up in her bed next to me, just kinda napping. She's eventually going to get curious about why I'm being this noisy, but I guess so far we're okay. Oh no, my hand is getting wet. Need to take it away. You were born on the Stratosphere, Earth's first colony ship, halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Sol system. Sol is always an interesting word used, typically referring to sun. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens, which make fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Vertumna 4, in the hope they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merge their cultures and traditions. They name you. That's a really nice way to put that. I really enjoy how they put that. Also, how they are designed says so much about them. Poe's work is something I have so much love for, and Geranium, our father here. Oh, hey, if we click on them. Your dad, who works in geoponics, a kind man, always patient with children and animals, he, him. That matches, like, you can tell that just from looking at him. The eye color is a little different. Wouldn't have expected that. But he has just this very cool and calm kind of demeanor with his hands in his pockets. Meanwhile, your mom, Falulu, is very clearly way more intense. She, yeah, hands on her hips, ready to get things done, with more skin showing to show off musculature, a lack of hair, which typically is for things like military service or other serious character archetypes, but also some very, I really enjoy this. This is not your stock character. Your mom, the chief cultivator. A strong woman up to any challenge who expects the same from others. She, her. We're not going to take any of those names. We're going to be Vissa, which is a take on Viscera. You're a bright-eyed child with an active imagination, sometimes too active, your mom says. Use the sliders on the left to choose pronouns and late teens appearance. These can be changed at any time. I enjoy that these can be changed at any time. Androgynous appearance, feminine appearance. We are going with feminine appearance. And Vissa would be a she. You have vivid dreams of things you've never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles, and strange animals. You wonder if this is what Vertumna will be like. 1 second, just gonna do a settings. Just so that I can check things once in a minute. That are not this exact screen. Oh god, scrolling too much. Wait, I get nothing when I click on me. We have a whole bunch of stats over here, including empathy, which is the only one that has anything filled in. Empathy 10 out of 10, understanding other people. I enjoy that that's just a default stat everybody starts with. Empathy, persuasion, creativity, bravery, reasoning, organizing, engineering, biology, toughness, perception, combat, animals. This is, generally put, a game... I've played a handful of games like this, and I so far have very much enjoyed how the system plays with these stats. This is essentially a way of making it so that by your choices matter in a way that is very mechanically reflected, so that you know what's happening as far as those choices go. If you choose to focus on being empathetic, when an empathetic check comes around, you'll have the stats to be able to do that, and that's very important. I enjoy this kind of system. Some are done better, some are done worse. Someday I will probably play Disco Elysium and talk about that insanity. Every child on the Stratosphere is given one genetic enhancement. By age 6, you see the first sign of yours. Eagle eyes, extra fingers, absorbent brain, super strength, calm temperament. I enjoy that they don't tell me what these do. Super strength, because we are going to tear things in half if we have anything to say about it. Uncle Tonin says it's a lazy person's dream. Eat whatever you want, don't exercise at all, and still look like you spend all day at the gym. I have a friend like that. It's deeply upsetting. So we have a memory called Super Strength 1, and we can find our memories here. Giggling, first words, wondering, discovering, crawling, crawling, first steps. Why do we have crawling twice? We have Super Strength. We should have gone from crawling to jumping! And we can see that that plus 10 to combat is then reflected over here, and we see that there are specific points we'd like to reach. You're incredibly strong for your age, but you go easy on your friend, the energetic and loyal anemone, which is this one. Wait a second. Red hair, orange things on her skin. I think this is who saved us. Energetic girl who loves sports. She, her. Oh! We get to keep some of the information I got from my last game. We'll take it. Tough and gentle Cal, which is this gentleman here. Bold and confident Mars. Yeah, that definitely is what she looks like. Quiet and adventurous Dis, or studious and mature Tangent, along with shy and sweet Tammy. You'll notice we've only got 4 here. Tangent and Tammy aren't shown here, which I think is an interesting choice. From a pure design standpoint, clearly there's not room for 6 characters here. This would start looking very awkward, and it makes me honestly curious if they have anything for layering characters next to each other in the background. None of these characters have their feet showing. As someone who can't draw feet myself, I relate. And it might be that they just don't have, that their character models wouldn't look, that these poses wouldn't look correct put behind. So instead of picking, I'm actually going to randomize this. We're going to pick one at random and go with the storytelling that comes with, because I think that's interesting. Because Vissa as a character is someone I'm very used to molding based on the game I'm playing. So playing a game where we're growing up from age, how old are we? Do you tell me? Can you remind me? Never. Nope. Nope. Yep, just don't know. Oh, no, we're age 10. Okay, we're age 10. So age 10, yeah, Vissa can absolutely adapt to whoever her friend is, and especially who she grew up as a friend with, which is shy and sweet Tammy. Tammy is the kindest person you know. She idolizes Antecedent and is always following her around, helping her with the babies or learning how to cook. She has the best snacks at class recess, and always shares, especially with you and Cal. She and Cal are just as close, so it's kind of like having 2 best friends. Tammy's Care, another one of the memories, which is a power 2, and gives +1 to the card to the right, which is very fitting for this kind of character. We get +10 creativity, +10 empathy. That gives us some of these social skills up here. Artistic ability and capacity for novel ideas. And of course, friendship with Tammy. Yeah, Tammy! Also look at her, she's adorable. Who doesn't want to have her around? +10 stress, which is this meter up here. Probably don't want to get too stressed. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. Professor Hal says it's like a doorway to other star systems, with the planet Vertumna 4 on the other side. You're in emergency drills for months to prepare. When the day finally comes, it starts with a rumble. Then things start to slide off the tables. You hurry to gather near the escape pods just in case. 20 more stress. Yeah, that sounds about right. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's going to be fine, Vissa, your dad soothes. We'll be through the wormhole and down on the planet before you know it. Just like we've practiced. Your mom gives him a sharp, worried look. Oh, good. Red is never a good thing, it turns out. I like how the emergency alarm isn't that bad to listen to. It could be so much worse. Red emergency lights switch on as siren begins to sound somewhere distant in the ship. You try to breathe slowly like you were taught, but you're very scared. You look at a porthole, the stars are gone. When you're frightened, you put on a tough face, which we would have needed toughness for, get in touch with your emotions, or think of a game to play. Creativity or empathy for these two. Vissa's a do things kind of girl. Typically a break things kind of girl, so thinking of a game to play sounds about right. Hey look, we're a little less stressed, and we got some friends. +2 friendship with Cal, Dis, an enemy, and gain memory of distraction. 1 with 1 extra card when drawn. Card draw is always good. So let me go ahead and address this. This is a deck building game. How it chooses to represent your decisions and your growth is with a deck building. That's not something I've experienced with before. I love card games, so this is definitely up my alley, and it's definitely an interesting way to choose to do it. We'll talk more about it later. You start a game of Rambutan with some of your classmates. You pick the topic, types of fruit. Cal thinks about, I could name 10 kinds of fruit, he says. I don't know what Rambutan is. Maybe they'll explain. Oh god. Oh, let's get into some of these voices. Maybe I could name 11, Dis mumbles. An enemy confidently counters with 12. Back to Cal, he thinks again. I could name 20. The others shrug. Nemo, I feel your pain. Anemone tells him to go ahead. Apple, orange, banana, Cal starts. And tomatoes are fruit, and cucumbers, and corn. Oh no. The game immediately erupts into an argument of semantics, as many games of Rambutan do. Why would you go that fast for the tomato? Come on, man. You wait. The shaking builds. Then everything starts to get very weird. The hallway stretches, and you're stretching too. Your arms impossibly long. Your head feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon and contracting down to the size of an atom at the same time. Is this the wormhole? You hear the distant, ominous squeal of metal giving way as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The weirdest part is a sense of déjà vu. You're sure this has happened to you before, and you know, somehow, that everything is going to be okay. So this is something interesting, and part of why I have no problem with playing this game, even though I have a fair amount of spoilers for it. And that's the simple fact that this game operates on a time loop. I don't know how strictly that should be applied, but you can do New Game Plus, and it allows you to make decisions you couldn't before because you now have knowledge you didn't have before, and I love that idea. Trust me, we're going to be doing more than one playthrough just to see what that entails, because I'm very excited. But it also means that it feels like there's a lot less stress. I don't have to worry about picking who my best friend is because in the long run, it doesn't matter as much. Whereas most of the time when you play these games, by the time you finish your life, that's it. Done. Did you do everything you wanted to, or did you fail? And that can cause some real feel-bads. So I like that this game, even narratively, with things like, and you know somehow that everything is going to be okay, sets you up not to feel as bad. Until Dawn did a similar thing when one of the characters very specifically tells you nothing could change what happens during the prologue. The shuddering reaches a crescendo. You hear an impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds before gravity slams you back against the wall, head first. You black out. As you slip unconscious, you feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow, all at once. And more than just one tomorrow. Lots of them. Different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place that you know from your dreams. Tilled fields, dramatic ridges, and a stranger, but also not a stranger, grinning as she grabs your hand. "Hurry up," she says. I'm not going to let you miss this." That looks like a grown-up version of Mars, who... let's just say she looks good when she grows up. Distantly, you can feel the ship's shaking has stopped and hear your parents' worried voices. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. -20 stress. Look, we're back at even. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the medbay. The medbed under you plays a soft tone and an automated voice speaks. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completed healing. They may now be safely discharged. Oh, good, we're concussed. I love this lab setup situation here. It is so wonderfully busy. Whoever we find out is in charge of this particular area, we know something about them immediately. Because you don't just end up with a working space like this. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems different about this room. It's so bright. You try to focus on the window. Something is definitely different. Sunlight, trees, ground. All of these are not things we had before! Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns is streaming through the windows. You peer out and see fields, glass-walled domes, and walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. There are construction materials everywhere, and people walking around outside on the ground! I like mushroom trees. So this tells us everything that we got from that little portion before. Rush outside to start your new life. Cautiously step outside to your new life. Rush! We gotta go running! Go, 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 go! Look, it's oh my god, her overworld sprite's too freaking cute. God. Oh, it's so good. Oh! Tammy jumps as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake. Are you all better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards some geodesic domes. To walk, click on the ground. Click on characters to talk to them. Tammy! Hi, Tammy. Oh, she looks so sad. Tammy looks concerned. You slept for so long after you bumped your head, she says. I bet your parents were worried. Your dad is working over in geoponics near those domes. They're called greenhouses. I would go with you, but, well, this is as far as I've been from the ship since we landed, Tammy stammers, blushing. It's scary outside. Don't worry, Tammy. We're gonna punch all the scary things for you, so you don't have to worry. Okay, she doesn't have anything else to say. So, we could go to our dad, or... I love the phrase, good gamers go left, and the extended version of that, which is, good gamers never go the right way. Because it turns out, the concept of going left versus right is from games as simple as Mario. Even basic platformers like that have taught us to go right to make progress. So most of the time, when game designers are building maps, whether they know it or not, they set up the map to go right to go forwards. Unless it's supposed to be a maze, in which case typically the left becomes the forward direction. That's one of the reasons why going left became a thing that good gamers do. Vissa! Your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Dr. Insons thought it'd be best to keep you asleep while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year, my snoozy little gooseberry. He checks your head and looks relieved. He's clearly very worried about you, but covers it with jokes and smiles. I feel him. I feel him so much on trying to just smooth things over like that. Aw, you love your dad, or aw, he's so embarrassing. So, Tammy is the kind of person who's directly shy. Vissa is the kind of person who's supremely socially awkward. She loves her dad and loves how sweet he is, but also can't handle it. Can't do it, not when we're not alone. And right now, we're not home, Dad! Welcome to Vertumna, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the Stratosphere from the outside, except in pictures. The ship has been separated in two, and parts taken off to form other buildings, and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien jungle creeps right up to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way up the hill. It's beautiful. How did you do this so fast? What's outside the walls? I want to go play outside the walls. Oh, don't worry about that, my dear aubergine, he says. Nothing that could hurt you. We just don't want you getting lost in the big, big world out there. Oh, before I forget, he pulls a package out from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? He asks. You honestly don't. You remind him that you've been asleep in medbay. Happy birthday! He shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Well, that's contrived. I say teasingly. I love it, actually. Your birthday already. You feel a dizzying sense of deja vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what's in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package some years ago on the ship. Inside will be a small medallion in the shape of a sun that your dad made by hand. Open the package, tell him you know what's in it, or don't open the package. Confronting him about this is too weird. Let's not make him think we're crazy. Also, we could be wrong. Never mind, we're not wrong. How did you know this? It's exactly as you imagined, as you dreamed. A feeling of panic rises in your throat. Your hand shakes, but how? +1 to challenges. Sounds good. I love that there's artist credits on these. Because this is a gear. I love that every single card has the artist credit on it. That is so good. Give credit to work done. You'll keep... Oh, this is the tip for memories. You'll keep adding to your deck as you age and can forget cards by spending time relaxing. You have a limited number of gear slots based on your organization and other skills. Click gear to equip or unequip it. Collectibles that you find while exploring may be given as gifts to friends or used during challenges for one-use bonuses. Organization. That's a thing we could focus on if we wanted to, if we wanted to be able to carry lots of things. I don't think we will. Vissa's a little, blunter than that. Your dad notices. Are you okay, Vissa? He snaps his fingers. Dr. Instant shouldn't have let you out so early. Sometimes those sleeping meds take a while to wear off. They might make your head feel funny for a few hours. You nod. Maybe that's all it is. Someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Vissa, he says, but I have to get back to work. There was an accident when we landed and... He stops himself. Don't worry. We're going to fix it, your mother and I. I'm sure that's fine. Professor Hell is expecting you in classes if you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering wing in the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier, or you can relax in our quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your hair. Have a wonderful birthday, Vissa. I love you. His is a hard voice for me to differentiate from my own, I feel like. This is too exciting. Love you too, Dad! To enter buildings, click on the door or the flag beside it, or get close and press enter or another action button. Then choose an activity for the month to gain skills in advance time. There are 13 months a year and 10 years to the end of the game. You'll only have time to focus on a few things. Well, the first thing we need to focus on is bothering anybody who's around. Which means, hi Dis! Who dis? This Dis. You see Dis sitting on the ground beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the game in the wall to the south, where grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need walls? This child is asking very direct questions. You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memory so strong that you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. That's horrific. That's not okay. For years in space, you've had half-remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Breaking you from your daydream, Dis whispers, I think there are monsters out there. I believe you. Start making things up. My dad says there's nothing bad out there. I believe you, and I want to go kill them. No, you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic, I can tell. Nobody believes me. He turns his back and ignores you. They're huge and wriggly and dangerous, or leave him alone. I want him to believe me. No! We lost our friendship! Stop making fun of me, Dis pouts. You're as bad as Mars. Okay. So Dis has some insecurities we're going to have to be careful about if we want to be friends with him. I bet I know who doesn't have insecurities. Hi, an enemy. My cat's being cute. Oh god, where am I going to place this voice? Hi, Vissa! An enemy seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball around with her foot, making patterns in the weird blue snow. This stuff is different from the snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold, but still neat and you can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little. An enemy is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. What are you making? Have you seen any monsters? Why aren't you in school? Have you seen any monsters? Nope, just some little bugs. Grown-ups would say if they were monsters, right? She shrugs, then smiles reassuringly. Even if there were monsters, Chief Rhett would beat them all up, so don't worry. My mom says we're safer here than we were in space. You both look over at the wreckage of the Stratospheric, the spaceship where you were born. Anemone's mom, Auntie Sedent, is probably right about that. Look what the wormhole did to your ship. What are you making? What are you making? Just snow spirals, she says. But earlier, me and Cal made a big snow pal. You missed it while you were sleeping in medbay. I want to break it. She smiles her broad gap-toothed smile at you. Now that you're awake, we can play! Why aren't you in school? She smacks her forehead. School! I wondered where everybody was. I guess I'm going to be late for humanities class. She doesn't look very worried to you. It's okay, she says. Professor Hal is chill. He won't mind, but we should probably go now. She grins and starts running towards engineering. Hey! Race you! No fair, she's getting a head start. But is she? Want to train together? Oh, we need to be tougher to train with an enemy. We're gonna have to do that. We need to get tough so that the monsters don't break us before we break them. I don't want to go to school, Anemone pouts, but I guess we have to. You know how to get there, right? Through the door in the engineering wing behind me. You know, the big thing with the rockets on top, she laughs. I was confused too at first. I'd never seen the ship from the outside before. God, I can't even imagine how weird that is. It's one of those things I've wondered about, like, what was it like for people the first time they saw pictures of Earth? I grew up with that. But what was it like for people who were, like, in their 30s who had never seen it before? It's one of those things that is just interesting to me. Dislike says feet and pretends not to notice you. We need bravery to dare just to do things. Okay. Well, everybody's telling us to go to class. We'll explore the other buildings later. Let's go be a good child. Let's play through the game like I don't know where to find my, my physical activities yet. A low throbbing noise comes from the engine room, which provides power to the colony. Other corridors lead off to the teaching labs and medbay. You know the route to your classroom well, but the rest of this wing is off limits to children. Congruence, the ship's onboard AI, beams down at you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Vissa. Study life sciences or study humanities. +2 creativity, +2 persuasion, +15 stress. Or... tell me what this do. There we go. +2 biology, +1 reasoning, +15 stress. Well... our friend made us more creative, so let's go study some humanities. Besides what we were told to go do by our dad. Welcome, Vissa. Professor Hal greets you. I hope you're all warmed up and ready to study the glorious humanities. History, literature, language, media, and philosophy. And yes, if you're lucky, we'll have a little ancient earth poetry too. He seems excited about that last bit. By the way, if anyone is interested in taking engineering classes, please register through Congruence's scheduling system when you have a chance. She'll be helping me teach them. Today's assignment is an easy one, Hal says with a yawn. Because I was up late repairing Congruence's subterminal, and I could use a nap. I'd like you to write an essay on what the Vertumna colony means to you. I don't... Oh, sorry about that. I hurt my jaw keeping that in. Freedom, equality, democracy. My friends are all here. I feel safe here. Just doodle instead of writing. I'm awake for like 3 hours, and you want me to write something? We're gonna doodle. Our brain's not working well enough for this. +5 rebellion. We're at 55 rebellion. Oh, I wonder where we're gonna end up on that. +1 creativity. True to his word, Hal leans back in his chair and begins to snore. You doubt he'll even bother reading this assignment, so you just practice drawing made-up animals on your holopalm instead. I'm imagining Vissa drawing the gaping dragon from Dark Souls 1 and being like, I'm gonna jump into its mouth and tear it out from the inside. Not realizing that would just smash her to the ground instead. -5 kudos. Well, we don't have any kudos. When Hal wakes up, kudos is this up here. Reputation-based currency. When Hal wakes up from his nap, he asks a few students to read their essays to class. You're docked a few kudos when he discovers you didn't bother to do the assignment. He thinks your animals are pretty cool, though. Get to work. Alright, so this is how we do our challenges. When you work or go to class, you'll play a quick card challenge as the month passes. Move cards to fill the 5 panes and make the best hand you can. Yes, order matters. If your hole in the circle on the right reaches the goal value, you win. Depending on your cards, some challenges can't be won, but you still get a reward for doing your best. Bonus for flushes, which is the same color together, or bonus for pairs, which is the same number together. Bonus for straights, increasing from left to right. The more cards in a flush pair or straight, the higher the bonus added to your total. Cards can also affect each other and can be rearranged to find your best total score. See, we have one there from Tammy. Okay. So we would go 0, 0, swap these so that we can get the 2 blues together, followed by first word, and actually, since that wouldn't affect our straight at all, we're going to just move all that over there. So we've got double flush, we've got a pair and a pair. So goal was 8, we got the big win. Win! You worked well this month, +1 creativity, +3 creativity, +2 persuasion, +15 stress, +1 kudos. Yep. Your skills increase when you work or go to school, with extra skills if you win the challenge, and a kudos bonus if you make the highest scoring hand with your cards. Working also increases stress, which prevents you from working if it reaches 100. To relieve stress, take a month off to relax in the quarters wing. Okay. Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know growing food is an important job, and it's vital to get crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up on the stratospheric, when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them at night before going to bed. Though you can tell they're exhausted, they make an effort to spend time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches you as she works a pebble out of her gardening tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up? I learned some stuff in school, or school is so boring. Let's lie and say we learned some stuff so that our parents don't get mad at us. I'm glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles, and Professor Hal will give you kudos if you get good grades. You can spend those at the depot once it's open. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom. I think there are lots of different ways to learn, and school is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you can tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree that this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future. If that means you find your own way, we'll accept that. My own way outside? My own way outside. My own way outside. Got it. Heard you. Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have some ideas for how you can spend your time. And come by geoponics, your mom adds. We could use your help. Unlocked shoveling dirt in geoponics. Mid-quiet. So, I'm checking if there's anything to pick up off the ground, because sometimes they just end up here in the colony. Looks like no luck this month. So let's talk a little bit about what happened last time. Last time, I randomly selected Cal to be my best friend. Cal is a big garden person, which is why he knows 20 kinds of fruit. I don't think I know 20 kinds of fruit. We're probably not going to do that as much this time, because Tammy's our best friend. Cal is also kind of our best friend. But I'm going to have to hunt down Tammy, find out what she does. First, Mars. A sharp whistle interrupts your thoughts. Hey, Vissa, Mars calls out to you. Come here, I have a job for you. You walk over to Mars, who's sheltering from the snow under the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. This spark snow would ruin my good clothes. At least on the ship we had climate control. Ugh. Tammy made me some soy sweets, but there's no way I'm going out there in all this weather, she continues. Since you like running around in it, could you fetch them for me? Okay, I believe you that Tammy made you soy sweets, and I'm also assuming she's going to be happier if she knows you got them, so I'll say okay. Good! Mars claps. She's probably just down the hill near our quarters. Mars sighs. She's scared to take more than a few steps from the door. All she wants to do is hide inside and make sweets. And what's wrong with that? Don't you judge my bestie. Mars puts her hand out expectantly. Give it here. I don't have them yet. And what are you doing here? Mars scolds. She's right down the hill at the other end of the ship. Mars points towards Tammy, who's staring obliviously at the sky. Aw, my precious cinnamon roll. So, talking to people twice is a habit that you develop playing Dark Souls games. And I'm assuming just something, I'm assuming that Vissa just kind of stands there awkwardly after a conversation is over for, a minute to make sure she doesn't miss anything. Tammy is staring obliviously at the sky, smiling to herself. She startles as you approach. Oh, hello, Vissa, she says, putting her hand to her chest. Do you need something? I'm here for Mars' soy sweets. Tammy smiles at you. Oh, it's so nice of you to help out Mars. She's a very important person, you know. She hands you a box wrapped in a pink and yellow scarf. 1 order of mango soy sweets. 1 order of mango soy sweets, made fresh this morning, she says. Please tell Mars that she can have the scarf back, okay? She used some of her kudos to nano-print it for me because it's so dusty here. But I think I'm getting used to it now. Okay. Okay, that's sweet of Mars. Tammy smiles again and tucks her hair behind her big elven ears. Mars is so cool, she says fondly. Sometimes she's kind of bossy, but I know she really cares too. You know, because this is future stuff, I don't even question the elven ears, but that also might be part of why Tammy's not shown as one of the 4 options. They show you 4 relatively looking normal people, one of them being Anemone, who you can recognize from the Flash Forward, I guess is what we're calling it, at the beginning of the game. It gets you prepared to seeing more stylized appearances for humans, like Tammy's ears. What else does Tammy say? You see Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance to the lounge. You've known her for, well, your whole life. Back on the ship, you used to play with her, were her study partner, you used to tease her. I used to play with her, we're besties! Tammy had the best doll collection. After her mom died, her dad used all his nanoprinter credits to print her a different doll every month for a whole year. Her ears perk up when she sees you. Oh, hello, Vissa, she says. Her voice is soft and dreamy, like a beam of starlight. Do you want to play dolls? I sure do. No, we're too old for that. I sure do! Let's have fun with our friend. We got +1 empathy for that. You don't think Tammy will ever be too old to play with dolls. If anything, she has even more of them now. She takes you to her quarters and brings out the entire Spacey Stacy doll collection. A disturbingly realistic baby with real bowel movements, and 2 super fancy posable dolls named Lily and Tilly who can be programmed to move on their own. Tammy isn't very good at programming, so Lily and Tilly just roll around awkwardly when you turn them on. You cover quickly by saying they must be breakdancing at a club. The 2 of you spend the afternoon making up stories of their rise to stardom as professional dancers. That's precious. Perform a random act of kindness. Need empathy 20 or greater. Gets us sharing is caring. Tammy has barely left the safety of the ship's quarters and lounge since you landed. She's looking fearfully out from the doorframe. I'm afraid of outside, she admits plainly with no trace of shame. My dad says I need to take baby steps, and that's okay if I approach new things at my own pace. Well, since we've got the stats to do it, let's perform a random act of kindness. Let's do friendship, +1 empathy, and gain the memory sharing is caring. That is such a cute piece of art. I love that. So it only works for social cards, which are going to be the yellow ones. You start simple. You give Tammy an enormous hug, sharing the love. Tammy gets a lot of hugs, but you make sure this one feels special. She hugs you back, wiggling back and forth happily. She's surprisingly strong. Oh, of course she is. She's had to deal with me. Thanks, Vissa, she says breathlessly as you squeeze the wind out of her a little. I really, really needed that. Oh, before you go, she adds, and produces a box with a slice of cake in it from the folds of her skirt. I have the bestest friend. Do you want this cake? They're so fun to make, but I need someone to help me eat them. I'll make you another on your birthday if you like, and we can trade hugs for cakes again. You are the bestest. That's a collectible? What do you do? What do you do? Oh, she still has dialogue. Oh. Tammy beams when she sees you, like there's nothing bare in the world on the side of your face. I am absolutely just being like, yeah. Mars can get her sweets later. Bestie. Happy birthday, Vissa, she exclaims. She comes in for a huge hug. She smells so nice, like vanilla and flowers, and she's really good at hugs. Tammy's workout routine. Hug everybody in the colony 3 times a day. This is for you, Tammy says. More cake? More cake! She steps back and reaches into one of the many deep pockets of her dress, producing a little paper box. So, the first time I played this, I actually didn't think to just keep talking to people over and over again, so I didn't get this cake. I made you this, she laughs, opening it to reveal a little snack-sized cake. It's only a soy cake, but it's a soy cake made just for you. You take a bite. Okay, it tastes just like a regular soy cake, too. Tammy did what she could with what the colony has. Tammy watches you eat the cake with a look of delighted satisfaction. You can share it if you want, she hints, smiling sweetly. If that would make you happy. Yes! Yes, we share with the bestie! Tammy laughs. I was just kidding. I made my own, silly Billy, she says, pulling out a second box. Let's eat them together! Aww. Okay, and then the dots will go and we can't do anything more. Because we need more empathy. Oh, that seems like a very good card. I need more empathy before we can do that, though. Okay, and she doesn't say anything new. Alright, Mars, I have sweets for you. Mars puts her hand out expectantly. Give it here. I want half, needs persuasion. Sharing is caring. I would get another sharing is caring. If you want them, you gotta pay up negotiating, which is for having high enough persuasion. Well, we're not gonna... We can't do anything about that persuasion. I ate them all. It's so tempting to stand up for my bestie, but no, she was happy about it. Tammy wanted her to have these. You hand over the box of soy sweets with a smile. Mars takes it and giggles. You're such a good sidekick, doing everything I say. Oh, you're gonna get punched. She opens the box and hands you a soy sweet. Your tip. Okay, you have avoided punching today, she tells you. Oh, an administrator seeks looking for someone to do delivery jobs for the depot, she says. I don't want to do it because, like, you running around out there? No. Just go through there, she says, gesturing to the door behind her, and tell them I referred you. Well, that might be something we do. Involves a lot of running around. This. Who dis? No dis. In case it isn't obvious, by the way, the character I would love to roll someday is Dis, but I don't want to force it. You find your mom hard at work setting up the greenhouses with a small construction crew. You've seen these plans pinned to the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house the more delicate plants from Earth. Spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Looking for something to do? She asks. Remember, Vissa, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we've landed. You can decide how to spend your time, so long as it's productive. She points towards the engineering wing in the back half of the stratospheric severed frame. Professor Hal is still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hands on your shoulder. I've got another minute. Anything you need to know. Alright. I'm gonna drop the voice so that I can get through the exposition really fast, so that we can all be on the same page. What are you doing in geoponics? She looks down, nudges at a sprout growing between her feet. It's green, the color of earth plants. We're doing our best, she says, but it hasn't been easy. I just hope the potatoes and corn can handle the weather here, she says, glancing up at the sky. I hear it rains like hell in the wet season. Takes a long look at you up and down. You're growing fast, Vissa, but you're still too young for real farming. Instead, well, there's a lot of soil that needs to be hauled. Seeing you disappointed, she nudges you on the shoulder. Don't pout, it'll help build those muscles. We'll need them now that we're out in the real world doing real work. Out here, we have to rely on our physical strength. She flexes her biceps. Your mom is really strong. Big lady. What's happening in engineering? Hal's teaching classes on life science, engineering, and humanities. If you pass all your tests, maybe he'll let you work there in a few years. Your father thinks you're old enough that school is optional. I don't agree, but I'll be honest with you, she says, gesturing to the fields. We do need every pair of hands we can get. If you want to work with me here in geoponics, I'd suggest studying life science. If you don't have a good grasp of biology and ecology, I'm going to stick you on shovel duty. What can I do? What can I do in the quarters? If you need a break, she advises, you can visit the lounge and see your friends. But, she warns, raising a finger, I don't want you to see you lounging around all the time. You need to work hard, too. What's the garrison? Security Chief Rhett is organizing a sports ball team. You used to play, didn't you, back on the ship? It'll be different here with the planet's gravity. Of all the adults in the colony, Rhett and your mom are the most like soldiers you'd seen on a holovid. For a moment, you think your mom's going to suggest something else, then she shakes her head. You're too young for defense training, so don't worry about that yet. Just enjoy yourself and stay out of trouble. What's going on in command? I want defense training. Teach me how to punch things. I think Seek said they need someone to deliver supplies from the depot. They're also setting up a shop there if you've got some kudos to spend. And of course, that's where Governor Uticott, works. But you shouldn't bother her. She's a busy woman. She doesn't have your mother's patience with kids. Try not to giggle. Your mom isn't usually known for her patience. Oh god, it threw me all the way back. Can I join expeditions? Oh, you're too young to leave the colony. It's dangerous. No! Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Shakes her head. Your father would be worried. There's so much we still don't know about the world out there. Let the adults find out, then maybe you can join them in a few years, when you're older. She gives you a stern look. She isn't going to budge on this one. For now, stay inside the walls. Oh, fine. Dad! Hello, my little potato, your dad exclaims, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today? Playing in the fresh air. He breathes deeply and looks slowly around. Vertumna is magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons! He shouts, throwing his hands wide. I missed seasons! Talk about the things that would be weird. Though I live in a place where seasons barely matter, the weather's so stupidly pretty all the time. Back on Earth, it got much, much colder, and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. You just wait until dust season. Both the suns will be high in the sky, and it'll be real hot then. You'll see. So, Mom just gives more exposition. Dad gives... Can't do anything with that. Help him with the animals. Need animal skill. Well, that's not surprising. Tammy doesn't want anything. Anemone! Anemone. Anemone is bumping a sports ball with her wrists, trying to keep it in the air. Heads up! She shouts and bumps the ball in your direction. Think fast. Do a trick? We need higher toughness. I'll look at ball flying towards you. Dodge roll! Whee! You flinch and jump out of the sports ball way as it careens past your head. Whoa, that was close. Anemone doubles over laughing. Nice save, Vissa! She giggles, jogging over to pick up the ball. Haha, not! Want me to show you how to do it? Okay, fine. +2 toughness. Ooh. Okay, so those skills build faster because of our super strength perk. I wonder if there's anywhere that tells us how that's supposed to work. That doesn't do it. Friends doesn't do it. Oh, you're 10 years old and still the strongest kid in your class. You have an innate understanding of others and creatively you're in a class of your own. She, her. Okay, so that's really fun how it kind of looks at your stats and gives you an idea. There's so many characters we don't know yet. And of course there's people you can be friends with, aka other children, and everybody else. You bounce the ball back and forth with her, trying to see how many times you can rally and keep it going. Anemone tells you about the new sports ball court, a proper regulation-sized court, way bigger than the little zero-G one on the Stratospheric. Brother Com is coaching the junior sports ball team this year. He's so great, she says. He's good at everything, especially spiking. He's coaching me to play awesome like him. You should come join us. Unlock sports ball in the garrison. Tempting. Super tempting. Okay, you're just talking about school again. So we can go try and deliver things, or we can go play sports ball. Let's go... Well, actually... Okay, so I've never actually checked this. Is there other things for us to do in here? Like, could we do something with... No, we cannot do something with Tammy in there. This is the... Okay. If only because I'm also curious, I want to go see about delivering things. Command is a warren of long hallways with doors off to tiny, nondescript offices. Everyone you pass seems to be hurrying off to something important. The end of one hallway opens into the supply depot, which works as both requisitions office and general store. Behind it are cavernous warehouses stacked high with supplies from Earth, now being gradually unpacked and distributed. Apply to deliver supplies. Toughness 10 or greater, or need organizing 10 or greater, so we can't even do it right now anyways. View the notice board. Colony short food shortfall, -100%. That can't be good. Colony security rating, evaluating. Upcoming event, we will be hosting our first annual Vertumnalia Festival during the second month of Dust. Which, can we tell when that's going to be? No, we can't. Notice, take precautions outside the colony boundaries. Xenofauna have been sighted in the area. Survey teams are investigating. Chief Surveyor Tonin. Current Council Administration. Governor Udicock Command. Chief Administrator Seek Command. Security Chief Rhett Garrison. Chief Engineer Instance Engineering. Chief Cultivator Flulu Geoponics. Chief Steward Antecedent. Quarters Chief Surveyor Melatonin Expeditions. Leave. Alright, do you know what that means? That means it's time for some sports ball. Let's go make ourselves tougher so that eventually we can train with Anemone. A small team led by Security Chief Rhett was enough to keep the peace in the Stratospheric. To stay busy, they also ran the exercise gym and sports ball courts. Here on Vertumna, the garrison has expanded fast. My tongue keeps getting tied. They're building a huge wall around the colony and have an outdoor firing range and a big covered dojo. And best of all, a regulation-sized sports ball court! Play sports ball. +2 bravery, +1 toughness, +1 friendship with Anemone, and +10 stress. Anemone meets you on the court. She's bouncing from one leg to the other in excitement. My brother Com is organizing the youth team, she tells you. Kombucha offers you a high five and greeting. Kombucha, you are a handsome young man. Then tosses the sports ball your way. Let's start with a practice game to see what you're good at. You and Anemone are team captains. Pick your team. Anemone used to practice with Cal and Mars on the ship. Tammy, you're surprised to see her here. Com will fill in to even up the teams, but he promises to go easy on the other side. Well, best friends? Best friends! So, to explain the best friends, Vissa has also gone through the game Code Vein. That is the Souls game where you get an AI teammate the entire way through. So we now have a best friends problem. Where Vissa goes, this is my person, and they are coming with me everywhere. Did I pick them for mechanical benefit? God, no. Cal said I should join, but I'm not very good at sports. Where should I stand? She asks quietly. You aren't sure. You assign her to tackle back and tell her to stick like glue to the opposing team's offense. Maybe she'll get in their way instead of yours. You know, good hugs could turn into good tackles. Anemone chooses kombucha, of course. They bump fists. Your next choice, Mars or Cal? Well, Cal is our other best friend. We are the best friend trio. Mind if I play goalie? He asks. Sports ball is fun, but feels mean to score against the other team. Okay, so hear me out here. Tammy gets in the way of their striker. Cal stops the goals, and I just run down the field. What I'm saying is, we would be terrible playing League of Legends. Story challenges have 3 rounds instead of 1. After every round, you'll keep the cards you didn't play and unlock an extra slot to play them in. Losing isn't always a bad thing in story challenges. Done. Well, they might say that, but we're still going to do our best. And I'm going to start with this 3 of a kind. So we get an 8. There's our extra card. So go 0, 0, 0, 1. I think I like that. That feels like our score is very low. But yeah, we'll give that a try. Oh no! I thought for a second our super strength just went away. I was like, oh god, no, why? So if we do this, followed by this, that turns that into a 3. So that keeps us from getting a straight. But then we could go 1, 1, 5. Do I think that's as high as I can get? No. I need to swap around like this. There we go. Because now we have the additional flush over here. Double checking that there's nothing else I could do. Win. Victorious! No skill changes. What? 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 Tammy tackles an anemone in a brilliant takedown that surprises everyone. Ha! Good tackles turn good hugs turn good tackles. She really took to her role as the immovable object. Cal makes an amazing jump save, but is winded when the ball hits him in the chest. Set neighbors to this volume, playing sports ball. The score is tied with Anemone and Calm putting the pressure on. Then blam! You score the match point with a rad spike all the way from the net line. +5 kudos. Get to work. +2 bravery, +2 toughness, +10 stress. Okay. So I guess I must not have gone the highest score I possibly could. That's okay. This week you had a few, or maybe it's just that that's not how that works in story challenges. I genuinely don't know. This week you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning you were sure Professor Hal was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate of hash browns. You even told Mars to watch. He didn't though. As Professor Hal walked away, his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. I want hash browns now. Oh, I'm just gonna keep getting hungry. Is this grown-up Tammy? It must be because the elf ears. Hi, grown-up Tammy. We're gonna be best friends. I will be best lady at... No, wait. That's not what they're called. I will be the person who goes up with you when you and Cal get married. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff that you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings, only to be saved by strange people you've never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into the colony recycler. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? Well, we do have signs of that. Anytime you try to tell someone they think you're playing a trick, or that you're sick and you need to go to medbay. You eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? You don't want people to worry, you just want to be normal. Secret powers are fun. I want to be normal. You hope that if you don't think about it, it'll go away. You just want to be a regular kid like everyone else. So, where does the social awkwardness come from Vis's perspective? Vis is socially awkward because that's why she doesn't murder every Dark Souls NPC. She essentially is happy to kill and brutalize anything as long as it doesn't talk to her. And when something talks to her and then attacks her, then it's like, oh, cool, we get to deal with this. But if something starts talking to her, she's like, oh no, it's going to start screaming and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want everybody to hate me. I don't want to get yelled at all the time. So she just gets very awkward around people because there's always the part of her inside that's just like, or I could hit you. You look at the sun medallion your dad carved for you, the one you saw in a dream before you ever saw it for real. Maybe you just got a little mixed up. Or you overheard someone talking about it, and that's how you knew what it looked like. There has to be a rational explanation for all this. Mid-quiet. Goes into late quiet. Anemone moved, but doesn't have any speech bubbles. New person. New person. Hey, Dis. Other new person. We'll talk to you shortly. That's Cal! By process of elimination, that tells us that the other person is Tangent, because that's the only child we haven't met yet. And we should go talk to Tangent. But we're going to do that in a minute. I'm going to go take a break. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back in a little bit. Please, feel free to tell me which of the kids you like the most so far. No matter what, though, everybody have a wonderful day.